again. Make yourself.
Oh, yeah, I had to get up there like that. That's exactly how I had to climb up on this couch. Ooh, let me scoot over real fast, get myself situated. What's good? How you guys doing today? Just had to get this going real fast because look, it's been a minute. It's been a hot minute. I seen that we haven't done a show in about a month. Had to change that. Had to change that with the quickness. Now, obviously, won't be here too long because I got multiple things ahead of us today. Some interviews to get to, at least for myself. A lot going on, whole lot going on. So, just gonna talk. Oh, hold on, got my sign. Gotta get my sign together. Gotta get everything situated. Everything situated here. I know most of you guys at work. Most of you guys are pretty much living your best life, working right now, but trying to get your mind off that for a quick second because we gotta talk about some wrestling. We gotta talk about some wrestling here. Huge shout out to Justin. Justin says, "What's up, my guy?" I can't see it on Melon. I gotta put it up on YouTube real fast. What's good, Justin? Man, how you living? Been watching some Circle of Debate, whole lot of Circle of Debate. Honestly, you guys have been keeping me sane. If I can be honest with you guys, doing some great work over there. Huge shout out to Circle of Debate. They're on Instagram, Twitter. They're always active, and they're on YouTube. Subscribe to their YouTube channel. Trust me, they're live almost every day. So you're never gonna be without seeing the amazing faces of the Circle of Debate crew. That, trust me, they're beyond awesome. See, Justin, now you got me distracted. I forgot what I was even talking about here. Monday Night Raw. That's what it was. Monday Night Raw. We gotta get into Monday Night Raw here, because not saying that I've been bored with it at all. No, that's not the case at all. It's just been some of it's been a little underwhelming. And I'll get to that a little bit further as we go on. But honestly, I'm still a big fan of CM Punk and Logan Paul. Not a fan of Logan Paul, but CM Punk and Logan Paul going back and forth is all right. You know, if Logan Paul wants to do this full time, then this is something that we got to see more of them. So that's something that obviously it sucks. You know, it's annoying, but who else to put him in front of than CM Punk, a guy that's pretty much going to draw back and forth with them and make it kind of difficult for the man. Shout out to Justin. He says at work right now, got to get you and Devin back on soon. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. It's been a whole lot going. Man, there was actually, I had just seen Devin Tuesday. The last time I seen Devin before that was the Royal Rumble, so it's pretty much been a month. You know, it's been and the man lives 5 minutes away from me. You know, it's like one of those things where it's both of our faults because we're both are just life ain't been lifing. That's pretty much what it is. But we're adults. You know, we're grown individuals. We're getting it together, so it's not nothing to be freaked out about. And plus, we feel as though with the podcast, we can always come back to it, and we can always come back. It's not gonna go away at all. That's the last thing we want to do. Can't speak for Devin, not playing, but it's like no, that's the last thing we will want to do is to just stop this in totality. It's just some things we just got to get worked out. We need much better equipment here, a much better setup, and just a whole lot better stuff. Just a whole lot better stuff. But it's coming together. So I'm not too freaked out about it at all. But I hope you're doing good at work, Justin. I know Justin, when are you not working? That's the big question. Justin be working, he come home and he goes back to work. So Justin, hardworking man, definitely living that American dream, the American hustle, the American dream itself. Huge shout out to Justin. Oh, see, like I said, just got me distracted. I gotta get to Monday Night Raw real fast. It's not your fault, Justin. I gotta find somebody to blame. we got to get it to Monday Night Raw here. And as we mentioned before, Logan Paul and CM Punk, like I said, as much as I don't like Logan Paul, got to start seeing him a whole lot more if he wants to do this full time. And then, you're gonna keep talking that talk, man. Let's see if you can still hang with the big guys. And I mean, he hung with CM Punk. I'll say it's not like he said anything crazy, but he didn't stutter over his words. He didn't go Roman Reigns on us. 2017, 2016 Roman Reigns on us. So honestly, I got a problem with Logan Paul. Ludwig Kaiser versus Penta and Pete Dunne, I thought was pretty cool. I'm actually happy Ludwig Kaiser got the win. I'm sad that Pete Dunne has to keep taking these L's like that, but I like Ludwig Kaiser. I have zero problem with Ludwig Kaiser. I think he's an awesome talent, a great wrestler, an amazing girlfriend. It's just like he's not failing at all. Like he's doing it. He's actually killing it in life so far. So I think Ludwig Kaiser winning actually was pretty dope. It stops him from getting chopped by Gunther every 20 seconds, every time he suffers a loss there. So I like the work that Ludwig Kaiser and Penta is doing too. Pete Dunne also is doing amazing work. Nobody's butch on his shirt. I think that's a really great sell. I like everything that Pete Dunne, Ludwig Kaiser, and Penta has done so far. I think it's been great, honestly. We got an Io Sky and Rhea Ripley promo where I'm sorry, but I was just telling this to Devin too. That was the last time I saw Monday. It wasn't Tuesday, but Monday. It's just like Io Sky just has this look to her where she's just like trying to stare you down, but it's like so ominous. Like it's like, bro, it's like she's trying to have a That's a Raven vision type of deal. But like I love Io Sky. She definitely poses a threat to Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley's just saying, hey, I have yet to beat Io Sky. She made me look silly on multiple occasions. And so it's her time to right that wrong. And I think this is a great way, to get it to that back and forth between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. Especially since this Elimination Chamber is coming up pretty soon on Saturday. I can't wait on it. That's probably the next time we will see Devin is Elimination Chamber. New Day versus LWO. Look, I love the New Day. Like I said, I'm glad they got rid of the dream. I'm glad they got rid of the jeans. Of course, that's a heel thing to do. But look, don't wrestle in no jeans. I'm wearing jeans right now. Don't tell me to run a sprint. Like I don't feel like running in no jeans, especially doing a backflip, let alone all that. But LWO, you got to know what they are. You got to know what they're all about. You already know what they signed up for once they got into the ring with the New Day, who is pretty much going on a little bit of a roll right now. They got rid of your boy, Rey Mysterio. Not only did they get rid of your boy, he also lost to Logan Paul. I mean, that's even more embarrassing. But, this Rey Mysterio, love Rey Mysterio. He's the GOAT. But the New Day, I think it's their turn right now. I don't think they're going to have some mega ultra push. I don't think they're going to be tag champions anytime soon this year. The hell, they might go on a run to get a tag team title opportunity, but do I think they're going to be holding gold this year in 2025? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Let me see what we got here. The got Io Sky, New Day, LWO. Yeah, these are my notes here. Gunther versus Akira Tozawa, man. First off, why are we doing this Akira Tozawa? First off, you had Carmelo Hayes getting out the shovel and pretty much burying the man. And then, of course, you have Gunther pretty much walking through. First off, Maxine Dupree posted a picture of them three. It was her, Otis, and Akira. And she was like, we're going to go handle business. I'm like, nah, bro. Let's rewind the tape. I was like, let's look at how y'all look and walk into the ring, because that didn't look like y'all were handling business. It looked like y'all was finna do the business on yourselves. Like, it was bad. It was pretty bad. It was awful. So shout out to Gunther and Akira Tozawa. That actually wasn't a bad match. Akira Tozawa could wrestle. I mean, the first time I seen Akira was the Cruiserweight Classic, and you kind of knew he had it in him right there off rip. So honestly, I never really thought of Akira Tozawa as a comedic character until he got with Alpha Academy. Usually he was before then, but until he got with Alpha Academy is where I kind of started losing a little bit of hope in my man's Akira. Kind of figured we weren't going to see anything competitive from him soon, and I'm glad they're not making him seem like just a bum. That the talent is Carmelo Hayes, Gunther, those guys. But once you get into the match, I mean, that Carmelo Hayes and Akira Tozawa match was about 10, close to 13 minutes. When unlike that Gunther match, where that took about 5 to 7. You didn't need a commercial break there. So honestly, as much as I don't like Akira Tozawa being shown like this, where we know he could wrestle, that's how I feel about Otis. I feel like Otis can actually wrestle. I think he's underrated wrestler, but he's trapped. He's trapped behind the gimmick. It's like Stardust. It's like one of the things where you're a really great wrestler, but we're not really seeing all of you so far. Then of course he pretty much beats the crap out of Akira Tozawa, almost beats the crap out of Otis, well, chokes out Otis, and then Jey Uso comes in for the save, like 5 minutes too late. So that's pretty much what we got from them two. I love Gunther going back and forth with the man, Jey Uso. I seen a rumor, and now this is a rumor. Of course, this is a Twitter rumor, so you shouldn't even put any thought into this, but I did. Unfortunately, somebody actually reported that this is going to be talking about the Jey Uso Gunther match in WrestleMania. This is going to be similar to like a Brock Lesnar John Cena match at SummerSlam, which that's not true. Like, that's not true. You're not gonna have a man win the Royal Rumble just to get absolutely squashed by Gunther. Now I can see him getting absolutely squashed, him having a couple comeback spots, a couple near falls, and then losing. That's fine. That's actually what I'm expecting. But I'm not expecting him to just get absolutely steamrolled at Mania, especially after him and his brother steamrolled us, and made us miserable in their last WrestleMania match, and how pitiful and awful it was. Honestly, I think we're going to see a whole lot more from Jey Uso and Gunther. Shout out to Justin. He says, sucks that match with Io and Rhea. Feels pretty throwaway. Honestly, it does. It's like kind of, hey, Io, you're not doing nothing right now. Rhea Ripley's here. We kind of just are. It's not really a whole lot of story into the match. I mean, pretty much Monday Night Raw was most of the story I got, from them two was, hey, I've never beaten Io. Io has always gotten the best of me. I get to right that wrong at Elimination Chamber. Like that was pretty much the most I've gotten this whole time. So I definitely agree with you, Justin, there. He says, loving everything with the Gunther and Jey story. I do. I don't mind anything with the Gunther and Jey story. Gunther has just been just trying to put a foot in him for the longest. And Gunther's kind of has this, how many times I got to teach you this lesson, old man vibe, where it's just, bro, I keep destroying you. And now, since you picked me, I'm going to humiliate you every single week. Now, this week he didn't do it, but he pretty much just looked into the man's eyes and said, I will just beat the brakes off you every week. I'll just humiliate you every week. And honestly, Jey Uso, I think he really kicked it off with that Raw after Rumble, where he couldn't even get the words out to even thank the fans. You want everybody over there. Like, Jey Uso is just too over. I don't think which is why I fully believe he's not going to get just completely steamrolled at Mania. I think this is going to be a competitive match for sure. Justin says, what's y'all elimination? Oh, this isn't Justin. I'm sorry. This Jordan Kirby. What's good, Jordan? He said, what's y'all elimination chamber predictions? See, I don't want to give mine just yet. I'm going to go live tomorrow because I want to get Devin's responses as well. I don't want to give my predictions too early just because I do want to include Devin in that as well. It's no fun if the homies can't. It's no fun if the homies can't have none. That's the wrong context. But I'm tomorrow. I'll definitely have my elimination chamber predictions, and I'll spew it out with Devin as well. And even if Devin can't come on, I'll see if I can write it down and get his noted as well, so we can get that going. But huge shout out to Jordan Kirby. Definitely appreciate you popping on, brother. And he says we're going to be in a blackout tomorrow. 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 I was like, that just gave me chills for a quick second. February 28th. February 28th is when an economic blackout. Consumers are planning an economic blackout till February 28th. Oh, man. No Amazon, no Walmart, no fast food. What's behind the dang? You got me a little, yeah. It's like it got me a little worried here. I was like, see this whole time, I got ESPN downstairs. Usually my dad has like CNN or something, but now I got to do a whole lot more research here because I got to go on CNN and look. And we go on CNN and Fox over here. We don't play both. We don't play one side. We gotta get both opinions here, but See, that's kind of nuts. Okay, so I gotta see what's okay. Let me see what Devin's on tonight. Let me see what Devin's on tonight, and then we'll see if we can get it going here as well. Because it sounds like it's gonna be a little rough tomorrow. It's gonna be a little bit chaotic tomorrow. And so honestly, and good lookout for that, Jordan. Jordan giving me current events because God knows I've been absolutely struggling in my own little world. Huge shout out to Jordan Kirby. That's insane. Dang, I'm definitely staying in the crib. Do I got work tomorrow? Yeah, I don't got work. So I'm staying in the crib. At this point, it's like it's it. At that point in time, man, what's happening on SmackDown? Dang, I wanted to review SmackDown too. But we gotta look at Lyra Valkyria and Dakota Kai real fast because, like I said, I do have to go into an interview in about an hour. So I just wanted to come in here, talk a little bit of wrestling with you guys, and look. And I've been wanting to do this for a minute. I've kind of been itching at the neck. Like it's been my Xbox Live has been tweaking. I haven't been able to go live on Twitch to explain what's going on. I have found out that I'm able to go live on TikTok. I might do that a little bit earlier. I mean, we might just do predictions there, on TikTok a little bit later on. But Lyra Valkyria, Dakota Kai had a match. I was rooting for Dakota Kai. She lost, of course. So it's just like that's kind of one of the things I've been expecting as well. Jordan Kirby said it's just for tomorrow. He says, who you interviewing? Oh, no, I'm not interviewing anybody. We did have a man by the name of Ray Lopez. He came out with a wrestling book that we were trying to interview him with. Unfortunately, couldn't find a perfect time or date to meet up with him just yet. So that should be coming up soon. But for TikTok tonight, I think I'll see if I can get Devin on. I'll probably see if I can slide Devin on. I also got some good news for you guys too. I got some good news for you guys. This is actually pretty cool. AEW. Should I say this? I'm gonna say it. I don't care. I'm gonna say it. AEW did reach out to me because for those that didn't know, I used to have a TV show in Arizona. They did reach out to me and was like, "Hey, we have Adam Cole coming in because of course, Phoenix, Arizona had AEW last week." And that's when they announced that they were going to bring Double or Nothing in, one of the pay-per-views. But AEW reached out and said, "Hey, if you want Adam Cole, you can interview him." And I was like, "Oh my goodness!" So I was like, "Unfortunately, I'm in Indiana right now. That can't happen. But if you guys are in Chicago, I'd love to run it back with you guys." And he goes, "Oh, of course, we would love to." And I just thought that was so cool. So that's one thing I love about AEW. Is they are really, really. I think they're really, really generous, especially how they've talked and treated and worked with me. So I do that's something I do got to give them a whole lot of love for. But I almost got Adam Cole on it was Adam Cole. Yeah, Adam Cole on the TV show. Unfortunately, couldn't make it happen. So they said they were going to reroute here in April. So I should have some better news coming up for you guys later on April. But fingers crossed. But that came out just recently. I was so hurt. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, just if you guys would have told me this in October, October 1st or something, I could have had something for you guys. But we're definitely going to continue to work with them. They were just amazing. Such cool people. But oh man, Dakota Kai, Lyra Valkyria, good match. Lyra won. And then of course Ivy Now came through, beat the brakes off of Lyra Valkyria. That's a match I definitely want to see. I'm starting to love this mid-card women's division that they're starting to build up here. Right now it's just 3, with the Lyra Valkyria, Dakota Kai. Jeez. I don't know what Phantom took over my camera. I don't know what happened there, but we're back. Just looking at that, but honestly, I'm liking this mid-card division that they're building up for the women. Right now, Lyra Valkyria, Ivy Now, Dakota Kai. I think they've been awesome. On the other side, you got Chelsea Green and Meechin, that's still building their feud. And they're still going back and forth. Piper Niven might be itching to turn her back on Chelsea Green at some point in time. I'm loving it. I'm loving the mid-card division that they have in this women's division. I know a lot of people had some problem with, and a lot of the women are a little disgruntled in the women's division. At least that was the report. And you can kind of see it. You can kind of hear from the fans itself. Me personally, I mean, I think there's talented. I think there's a whole lot of talent there in the women's division, and what's been shown so far, I think it's been absolutely awesome. From the mid card to, I mean, even in the NXT. I think it's been great work in the women's division there. So honestly, now NXT just seems a little bit. It just seems a little bit more dramatic. It just seems a little bit more, not necessarily cinematic. It's like something you would see on TV, like a TV show. Kelani Jordan and Jada Parker going back, but Jada Parker real though. Jada Parker real. She all real, all natural. But it's just one of those things where when I see the back and forth on NXT, it just seems a little bit dramatic on the plus side. Looking at on Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDowns, some of it might look a little bit more dramatic, but a lot of it, CM Punk, going into the men's, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, all that's real. When you add Becky Lynch, that's real. I think Charlotte Flair is real. Tiffany Stratton, I think, is a whole lot better. In NXT, I wasn't really a huge fan of Tiffany Stratton in terms of just her promo work, but now I'm loving everything about it. I'm loving everything about it as much as I'm loving everything about Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and the feud that they're bringing together. Of course, we've been seeing them go back and forth on numerous occasions throughout not only their WWE career, but throughout their careers in totality. I don't know how many times I got to look at each other and be like, bro, how many times we got to do this? Like, how many times we got to keep running into each other? But, it's kind of like wrestling soulmates. Wrestling soulmates. Shout out to Justin. He says Blackout started early, I guess. That's what I was lost on. That's what I was like, well, am I done here? I was like, let me check my bank account. Did I just get sucked out already? Shout out to Jordan. He says, it's just for tomorrow, bro. Don't worry. Oh, no, it was just my screen blacked out. I just completely went dark for absolutely no reason there. I got a little scared. He was like, oh, okay, well, maybe it just reached home right now. Or I'm just getting hacked. Or I was just getting absolutely hacked here. But Cody Rhodes came out there after The Rock said he wanted Cody's soul ominously. I know Devin popped for that, but I was just like, okay, that's a little weird. Even his daughter Ava came out on Twitter. It was like, soul is crazy. Like soul is a little crazy. But you were giving him help on his promo skills, so that's Ava's fault. But Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins went back and forth. I love how everybody keeps talking to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is always like, bro, I did all this for you. I was the MVP at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes referred that to Seth Rollins. But at the end of the day, you cannot continue on to team up with The Rock. Well, not continue on, but you should not go on to team up with The Rock or give your soul to The Rock, because it will make everything meaningless. Everything that we did meaningless. And then Cody Rhodes and everybody has to revert to Seth Rollins' actions. Like, hey, bro, you keep telling everybody what they doing wrong, but like, you got to go back to what you did wrong. Back to when you turned your back on the Shield. When you went to the Authority. And then Cody Rhodes was like, then that was one of the reasons why I left the company. Hey, that's honest. Like that's 100% honest. And I loved every second of that. I love every second of that. Jordan says Cody ain't gonna sell his soul to The Rock. Look, man, I don't think so either. There's no reason to. There's no reason for Cody Rhodes to sell his soul to Dwayne Johnson. And for Dwayne Johnson to even come out here after everything they went through, Devin was there. Devin was there when The Rock whooped Cody Rhodes to a bloody pulp. Talking about Mama Rose wiping the blood on the belt. Devin was there. If Devin watching, I don't even think Devin watching horror. I think Devin was watching in excitement. He loved every second of it. But it was one of those things where you see Cody Rhodes coming through and persevering through all of that, beating The Rock. Well, he lost in that tag match between The Rock and Roman, but actually beating Roman at the end of it all, when holding the title for almost a year now, so you like the triumphant story that Cody Rhodes has, but man, it's like, why would you do all that and then go back and hug up with The Rock? That's definitely that gives you The Rock and the Mr. McMahon, not The Rock and Mr. McMahon, turned out Stone Cold and Mr. McMahon when they assembled their alliance at WrestleMania when Stone Cold beat The Rock. You know, I feel like that would give you kind of that vibe where it's foolish. You know, it's kind of no reason for it. Huge shout out to Justin. He says, definitely don't see Cody accepting The Rock's offer, leading to either McIntyre or Cena aligning with The Rock. Please let Cena align with The Rock. Please let Cena turn. We got to see a Cena heel turn. I want to see a Cena heel turn immediately. Like, that's got to happen. Jordan Kirby says the final boss is so weird. What happened to 2024 final boss? 2024 final boss was serious. He just came up, cussed. I was there in Phoenix, Arizona. He called us crackhead Karens, meth head Marys, told us to go home and smoke some more crack. I was like, cool. So, I mean, I wasn't smoking. I don't smoke crack. But, like, you know, it's just like, that's cool. You know, that was a cool final boss. He just came there, talked this smack, and dipped. No, he didn't care about nothing else. Jordan Kirby says, what connection does Drew have with The Rock? Well, right now, Drew is just a loose screw. You know, like, Drew is just a nut job at this point. He's losing his mind. He's blaming everybody but himself. The Rock might want a powerful I'm just pulling something out. I'm just saying something, just giving a benefit of the doubt, just booking my fantasy booking myself. But honestly, in actuality, I would much rather see John Cena do it, you know, because I would. And shout out to Jordan Kirby. He says, do you think Alexa joins the Wyatt Six? I think she has to. You know, her and Nikki Cross, the former tag team champions. I think there's something there. Alexa definitely still doesn't seem like all the screws are there. I want to see her with the Wyatt Six. And I think that'll be a great get together there. Justin says The Rock was the one who gave Drew his new contract. Oh, I think Drew, I remember, I don't know if Drew said that or The Rock said that, one of the two. But even then, that's nice. That's not, even if The Rock comes in and out as not necessarily like a manager, but just somebody that's kind of like an agent. You guys ever seen Ballers, The Rock's show, where he's pretty much an agent for NFL players? If he was like an agent for like Drew McIntyre, where he's not a Paul Heyman where he shows up every week. He shows up every once in a while, talks up Drew McIntyre, talks up himself a little bit, gives Drew McIntyre opportunities where, you know, like stuff like that, just as an agent, not necessarily a manager. But that, like I said, that's just me fantasy booking there. I think The Rock could do a whole lot with just the limited amount of appearances that he can do, honestly. Jordan Kirby says, do y'all remember the 2011 feud between The Rock and Cena? Maybe they'll do that, but this time Cena joins The Rock. I like that. I do like that a whole lot because I do believe that there's something there with Cena and The Rock. You know, John Cena pretty much saying back in the day, I'll never be like you. You know, you left for Hollywood. And, I mean, that's what John Cena did. And then John Cena loses at the Rumble. He sits at the podium and tells everybody, sits at the podium. He sits at the table and says, hey, you know, after my years of service, I've earned a spot in the Elimination Chamber. Right? There is no qualifiers for me. You know, I'm the final boss. You know, it's just like, you know, one of those things. So I honestly like it. I honestly like it a whole lot. Jordan Kirby says, what about Roman? That's a great question. Roman right now, I think Roman's in limbo because right now this bloodline feud, like Jey Uso's doing this thing, Jimmy's trying to build his own. He's trying to be his own man, and then you have Solo, who is pretty much getting pushed out of not really getting pushed out of his own faction because he's still going to be a part of the bloodline. He's just not the big dog. He's just the medium-sized dog because now you got a Wolverine. I'm sorry, you know, you got a Wolverine that's leading the big dogs. So, you know, it's kind of bad at this point. Roman. I'm Romaned out, honestly. That's just me coming. That's just coming from me. I'm just Romaned out at this point. I just seen as much as I've seen of Roman Reigns. I'm loving what his family is doing for the most part. I want to let them rock for the time being. I definitely want to let them rock for now. Justin says it would make more sense being Cena, his first win in over 3,000 days, his 17th world title in WrestleMania 17 fashion. I want to see it. I want to see it. And if you got to screw Cody Rhodes, I mean, that's even better. I mean, Cody Rhodes, who is more over at this point than Cody Rhodes? Like, there were kids that were doing the whoa chants at the radio station I was working at. And you know, most of them, yeah, they were wrestling fans, but that's just us just talking about wrestling. These are kids that they never saw Stardust, you know, like they never saw Dash and Cody Rhodes, and yet they love them some Cody Rhodes over Roman Reigns, to a guy who was pretty much given the keys. So I think that's just I screwing the the big name, the hero. I think is gonna be awesome. Jordan Kirby says, "Will there ever be another title reign like Roman Reigns title reign?" I don't think so. I don't think so at all. That was exactly what Vince McMahon was envisioning this. Like he was Raven from That's So Raven. Like, and I don't want to give that the creep props, but I mean at this point in time, he was shoving Roman Reigns down our throats this whole time because he saw all this happening. He saw who Roman Reigns could become, and honestly, it was entertaining. It was an entertaining 3 years, even though I wanted it to be 2. It was an entertaining 3 years. Justice says, plus looking back at his interview during the scrum after Rumble, he said him winning 17 is best for business. That's true. That's true. You're beating Ric Flair. You are officially the GOAT. And what better way to do that than having, like we need to see fans throwing cups, not chairs. We got to see them throwing cups. We got to see them throwing popcorn at John Cena, a man that we probably haven't booed as a heel since what 2024, 2023, 2024, when he was the Doctor of Thugonomics, when he was just pretty much coming out rapping at people his early United States title reign, but not early United States title reign. He was a babyface then, but when he was going for the title picture at that point. Jordan Kirby says, so WWE is bringing back the Authority. I wouldn't mind that at all. John Cena comes back, slick back hair. Him and The Rock come out with the ring of fire around them, holding their both belts. One of them, meaning more importance than the other. So I can see it. I can definitely see it. I see the vision there, honestly, and I can't wait to see what is going to come out of this. The main event was Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bianca Belair and Naomi. Bianca Belair and Naomi are done. They're done. I have zero faith in Naomi turning heel, but if it's gonna be Naomi, I mean, I want to see how this is going to turn out. I'm just letting y'all know I have zero faith that Naomi can turn heel. Like I feel the glow. I love everything about Naomi as a character. I do not have confidence that she can be a great heel at all. That's just my thoughts. That's just me personally. And that's no diss to Naomi, even though it's kind of pretty much sounds like it. I just don't think she could be a great heel as much as she is a good baby face at that point. But I mean, that's why we have to see, unless they swerve us and we find out who actually beat up Jade Cargill and took her out of her misery. Wow, they didn't kill her, but who took her out of action. Real quick, let me see, 12:35. We got about 25 minutes. I can still do NXT and AEW. NXT, Stephanie McCool taking on Carmen Petrovic. Carmen Petrovic Carmen Petrovic. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. There's not really much to say about Carmen Petrovic. Me and Devin was talking about her earlier when we were watching NXT, and we're not too hyped about it. She could wrestle. She's really good at what she does, but I'm not really too hyped about her, Carmen Petrovic, not yet at least. But she can wrestle, and she does put on some solid matches. Jordan Kirby says Jade is going to come back maybe tomorrow night or Saturday to confront Naomi if Naomi attacked Jade. And Justin says they're going to do the reveal at either SmackDown or the Chamber because they're really stretching this out. Yeah, I mean, you already dropped the titles at this point. Now the only thing that's left is the reveal. And that's what I've been waiting on because, like I said, I'm not a fan. I don't think Naomi can pull it off. I think Bianca could pull it off, and I would love to see Bianca versus Jade Cargill at Mania. That's cool. Jade Cargill versus Naomi in Mania, I don't really care. I just don't really care, honestly. Like but it's impossible for Bianca because Bianca was wrestling, so it's impossible for Bianca to do something like that. But I would much rather see a Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill Mania match than whatever they're going to do here, honestly. NXT, like Stephanie McCool is an amazing wrestler. I thought it was a dope match between the two. Booker T needs to calm himself down. If you know. But I honestly fully believe that this Stephanie McCool Julia match is going to be insane. Now, word on the street is that one of them is injured, and we just got word this morning that it could potentially be Julia is the one that's injured and might need some time off. So does that mean Stephanie McCourt wins the NXT title? Does she drop the NXT? Does she drop the women's North American title on the next day? Kind of like how Keith Lee won the North American and NXT title, then dropped the North American title. I think that I could see Stephanie McCourt doing that exact same thing if she wins. That's just a matter of if the rumors or if everything is true. Jordan Kirby says it's probably gonna be the Chamber because they want to do it at a bigger stage rather than SmackDown. Yeah, they probably want to do that in Canada. I definitely agree with that. He says maybe a triple threat between Jade, Bianca, and Naomi. See, that I like. I like that a whole lot more than a Jade Cargill versus Naomi. You know, I feel like you could have that on. No offense, I think you could have that on a SmackDown. You can have that on a SmackDown and call it a day. I think you could have a Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair at a pay-per-view, PLE. And I think WrestleMania will definitely be a smooth way to do that. So I would love every second of that, honestly. Love every second of that one. Moose took on Lexis King. I'm sorry, I got to be honest with you guys because I'm not a TNA watcher. This is my third Moose match that I've seen. And at first I was like, bro, this dude moves like a slower Bobby Lashley until the match progressed. Like until the match got deep into it and we started actually seeing a whole lot more athleticism from both parties. Lexis King can throw down, man. I knew it, but I think him and Moose definitely proved it. I didn't have too high expectations in this match, but I thought it was really awesome. I thought they put on a banger of a match, honestly. Jordan Kirby says third Moose match you have watched. Third Moose match you have to watch his stuff on the indies. I definitely do. Like I definitely do. This dude was like a monster of a man. And honestly, I think the last match I seen was between him and Josh Alexander, which I thought that match was solid. I didn't hate that match at all. But I'm starting to see why Moose has a lot of hype around him. Now, I want to talk about the negativity surrounding Moose because honestly, I do think that a lot of people aren't going to necessarily move on from that. But honestly, to just blatantly ignore it, I do think Moose is a really, really, really awesome wrestler. I don't know too much about him, so I'm not going to comment on what he did and what he is going through and the perseverance because I don't know his story. I'm still now learning the Moose story. So, and I'm loving it. So the only thing I am disappointed in is that the TNA title, the X Division title, isn't getting defended with the NXT Championship because I think Oba Femi winning both titles and going back and forth definitely helps with his development. I mean, it doesn't help with his life. You know, obviously he's going to be traveling back and forth, and this is probably going to suck. Well, not traveling. I mean, as long as both parties can stay in Florida, I think they'll be fine. But honestly, I do think Oba Femi winning both titles would be awesome. I just think that's just fantasy booking on my part. And I'm still getting my intro into TNA as well. I'm starting to watch a little bit of TNA myself. But the Moose and King match I thought was pretty dope. I thought it was pretty solid. NQCC, the new quarter catch crew taking on the Hardy Boys. The Hardys coming back was actually pretty solid. I thought they had an awesome welcome back party. It was pretty dope. The Hardys, I don't think they obviously they're slower because they're older. You know, like they're growner men. You know, they're so Jeff Hardy, of course, with all that he's going through, you're not expecting him to be Usain Bolt out there. They put on a bang. I thought they put on a banger of a match. And you know, you're not watching the Hardy Boys at 03. You're watching the Hardy Boys at 2025, and they still got it in them. You know, they still got it. And that's something that I really, really love to see. And Matt Hardy don't really have to do too much, honestly. So I loved it. I loved every bit of it. I was really positive. And of course, Nathan Frazier and Axiom came up. The Hardys will always be popular, but of course, the rookies, quote unquote, has something to say as well. I can't wait to see what that matchup is going to look like as well. So, of course, the Hardy Boys got a T-shirt online that you can get from WWE. Something that's going to be awesome to see as well. So Santino Marella booked the Hardys versus Fraxium in his role as TNA Director of Authority. So we got that as well. And then speaking of Santino Marella, his amazing daughter, Ariana Grace, had a match against Lola Vice. She lost. That's all I gotta say. Ariana Grace didn't really expect her to have to, but she put up a solid fight. She can wrestle. I just wanted Lola Vice to get this over with the quickness. I was like, Lola Vice, stop messing around. Just get this over with. Then, of course, you had Ricky Saint and Javon Evans taking on Wesley and Ethan Page. Somebody posted this on Twitter, and I think this is so true. They said they had a vote, quote unquote, that pretty much that Javon Evans was going to be the one to slip up and say the N-word on TV. I second that. I fully believe. At first, I thought it was going to be Trick Williams, maybe even Carmelo Hayes, but I think Javon Evans is definitely going to be the one to slip up for sure. And you could tell because Trick Williams losing his mind right now. Trick Williams, he got Eddie Thorpe to worry about. He's just mad, annoyed. He's heated, and he's turning. Look like he's turning a little bit. It's like he'll get a little heel turn there. Look like we're gonna get a heel turn. But Trick Williams looks like he's gonna be staying in NXT for a little bit, even though he's held the title. Doesn't look like he's gonna get that phone call anytime soon. He will get it soon, just not. I'm not saying in the upcoming months. We're not gonna be seeing him on the main roster anytime soon. But a solid match. I'm glad to see Ricky Saints in NXT. Ricky Saints, of course, him being from New Orleans, that's the Saints reference. You get it from there. But Ricky is just a big ball of fire out there. And him and Javon Evans, I thought was a great 1-2 punch. I don't want to see them as a tag team. That's the last thing I want to see. I want to see them both of them on their own. But Saints and Evans, of course, get the win over Ethan Page and Wes Lee. I thought it was a really, really dope match. Javon Evans is dope. He's fighting for more than just a smile, like Trick Williams said. But I think Javon Evans definitely has a bright future for a nice mid-card run. If I had to make a quick prediction, and by quick prediction, I mean, this is something that I'm going to say and then forget like 15 years later, but I can definitely see Javon Evans without the Kofi Mania having a Kofi Kingston career without the fake Jamaican accent. I could just see him being an amazing mid-card wrestler. Hall of Famer still, but just one of those guys. He's reliable. You can use him as a workhorse if you need him to be, as long as he stays healthy. But, he's exciting. He's lovable. Can be an amazing baby face. You're not really going to be expecting too many heel turns from him, but he could pull it off if need be. I can see him being a great mid-card champion and then possibly having a main card push, if need be. But I think the future is bright for Javon Evans. I love every second of it. While I have time, AEW took place yesterday, and honestly, it's getting better. Like I gotta admit, AEW is getting a whole lot better. I've seen a lot of people talk about that, and I wasn't feeling like that recently, but it is getting a whole lot better. Hangman Page took on Aaron Solo. He pretty much just pulled up to AEW, started fighting Aaron Solo, got him out of there 1, 2, 3, and called it a day. And then MJF came out with a bloody rag. He talked for a little bit, but said, "Hey, I just want to know, is your best friend okay? Maybe you should check on him." Of course, talking about Christopher Daniels. Christopher Daniels trying to bring the camera over before he plays dead. If you guys didn't miss that there. Little embarrassing, but at the end of the day, what can you do about it? That's the director's fault there. That's not Christopher Daniels' fault at all. I definitely think that's 100% on the director. I don't think the cameraman was in the right spot at that point. So I think that's just a production problem. The wrestlers could do nothing wrong. The wrestlers could do nothing wrong about that in that instance. But Hangman Page just got Aaron Solo out the way with the quickness. It's just sad that Hangman Page. I mean, I agree with him. One thing I do hate is running out of biscuits. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. The bounty match, Will Ospreay took on Brian Keith. Look, I can understand you being the bounty hunter, Brian Keith, but brother, you going up against Will Ospreay. I could have told you what was happening there. I could have told you what was going to be the end result right there, my brother. I'm sorry. But honestly, even though it wasn't really too much, it wasn't really as dramatic as a lot of Will Ospreay matches are. Will Ospreay can still wrestle. Brian Keith can go. It was a solid match. So I didn't hate it at all. Didn't hate it one bit. And so Looking forward, you had the number one contenders, the Murder Machine Guns, the Murder Machines, not the Murder Machine Guns, the Murder Machines taking on the Outrunners. The Outrunners did get the win. They've been boosting up everybody in Omaha, their football team, and it looked like their basketball team as well. They're everywhere, and they're hot. They're hot. They're on fire. It's just a matter of them getting that tag match for the title. So I want to see how that's turning out so far. I definitely want to see how that's going to play out so far. Ricochet and Swerve agreed to the world title contender rematch, but Prince Nana pretty much had to give Swerve Strickland a tongue lashing, and I think he was real with him. He was as real can be. Just came out and said, "Bro, this dude is coming out with my robe. This dude has been coming out with my robe, with my gear, and if you don't do nothing about it, I don't know if I can do this anymore." Which I agree. And shout out to Jordan Kirby. AEW has been middle of the road. Yeah, there's been some stuff that's been hit or miss. I say it's been good because my expectations for AEW are always insanely low. Like, I'm not a fan of Harley Cameron. As much as Harley Cameron is doing on AEW, I'm not a fan of it at all. The more I see her, the more I just want to leave. Speaking of Harley Cameron, she got to win against Deonna Purrazzo. Now I'm going to get hot. Like, this stupidity. Deonna Purrazzo signed with AEW, what, a year or two ago? Maybe a year ago. What has she done? What has she done? She's done absolutely nothing. Harley Cameron gets a puppet over. She can sing. She can dance. She can do everything but wrestle. And yes, she's getting wins over Deonna Purrazzo. No, okay, I'm done. No, I'm not a fan of Harley Cameron. Not a fan of what they're doing with Harley Cameron. She's a great entertainer. But as far as what she do in the ring, I don't care. I do not care. I want Sasha Banks to destroy her. I wanted Sasha Banks to beat her within 7 minutes or less. No commercial break. Deonna Purrazzo couldn't even get that done. I got to get that out of my system. Just had to get that out of my system. I'm sorry. Now that we're talking about how AEW has been middle of the road, that's one of the reasons why. Well, one of the problems I've had so far is just stuff that just doesn't make sense to me at all. I don't get it. I don't get it. The not the Blood Syndicate. That's not what they call the Blood Syndicate. The what are they called? The Death Riders. Jesus Christ. I was like, the Blood Syndicate. I'm like, it's called the Death of Destruction of Murder. But the Death Riders finally just got their just desserts. And of course, with the help of Willow Nightingale, Adam Cope came through and got rid of the Death Riders one by one. Wheeler Yuta accidentally got rid of Marina Shafir, and Willow Nightingale handled that job precisely with a concerto, as she should, because they've been getting on her last nerves ever since. And then, of course, you turn that around to Adam Copeland, pretty much going back and forth for the Death Riders. Jon Moxley is losing his mind outside of the ring, seeing that his team is just getting decimated. Yeah, you can save Wheeler Yuta, but you can't save anybody else. You can't save your main girl. And Marina Shafir definitely hurts you. Definitely hurts you to the core a little bit. And so I do agree that it took a slower pace after that, because I was not a fan of that trios match. Undisputed Kingdom versus FTR and Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia, you could do that dance. I was a fan of Daniel Garcia, but it's not really a whole lot he's doing. He's just kind of stagnant there, and it's not his fault. Not his fault at all. But yeah, I'm not a fan of what they got going with Daniel Garcia, especially FTR too. FTR has been floating around. They were getting just absolutely decimated by the Death Riders, and we haven't heard from them since. They just been hanging around with a bunch of elderly guys all day, and that's no offense to Ricky Morton and the guys, but I'm sorry, they haven't looked good at all. So I gotta give them. I gotta shit it there. The international championship match, Konosuke Takeshita taking on Orange Cassidy. Honestly, not a Orange Cassidy fan, but it was a great match. Both guys insanely athletic. I'm a huge Konosuke Takeshita fan, and so I thought watching him fight was absolutely phenomenal. Him and Orange Cassidy honestly could do no wrong last night. I thought that was a really, really solid match, and I'm glad Konosuke Takeshita got the win. So AEW, I thought it was solid. I felt the first hour was a whole lot better than what that second hour was. That second hour was rough. Rough. Jesus. And speaking of rough, before I dip out, I do got to get this off my chest. Michelle McCool being in the Hall of Fame, I think it's a joke. I think it's a joke. I'm not a hater. I'm not a Michelle McCool hater. I'm not even a Divas hater or nothing like that. It's just the fact of I can't think of a memorable thing outside of what Michelle McCool and Layla did together. I can't think of a memorable thing that Michelle McCool has done in her career. Honestly, her theme song was cool. The theme song was dope. She wasn't a bad wrestler. She was definitely a part of that group of when they still called them divas, the group of divas that could wrestle, that could put on a 10-minute match if need be. So, no problem with Michelle McCool there. But man, Hall of Famer? Like Hall of Famer? Let's look at her. Let me look at her championships and accomplishments. Yeah, I'm on Wikipedia. She had the feud of the year in 2009 with Maurice. Okay. Okay. You ever see that Jay-Z song? Okay. Yeah, no. She was Woman of the Year in 2010, ranked number 1 of the top 50 female wrestlers in the PWI Female 50. Let's look at that list. 2010, Michelle McCool. Number 2 was Angela Love. Number 3 was Mercedes Martinez. Love you, Mercedes Martinez. Okay, Eve Torres, Madison Rain, Beth Phoenix. Okay. I just had to look at see where the competition was at. But in terms of WWE Women's Champion 2 times, Divas Champion 2 times. She was even the inaugural champion. A SmackDown Divas competition 2008, Diva of the Year 2010, Knucklehead Moment of the Year, losing to Mae Young, of course, and then Hall of Fame class inductee. That is not a Hall of Fame career. Is that Devin Lee Grimes? Is that Devin Lee Grimes pulling through? Devin Grimes comes through and says, "What's up, Justin?" Devin, definitely appreciate you. Why you here? A huge shout out to Jordan Kirby. He wanted me to do Elimination Chamber predictions. I didn't want to do it without you, pause. So if there's at some point in time, if you want to run something tomorrow, or if you just want to give me the predictions, your answers tonight, and we can work something out from there, or you can just hit me up when this whole thing is over. I'm about to pretty much close up in a minute, but we definitely got to get our predictions in. I just didn't want to do it without you. He says, what's the criteria for the Hall of Fame anymore? There is no criteria. My criteria for the Hall of Fame is your impact. I think your general impact. I don't think Michelle McCool had an impact. I don't think Layla had an impact. I do think players like Victoria, had an impact, because I do think around that time, Victoria, Jazz, I'm not gonna necessarily say Tori Wilson, like Maria Kanellis, we know what you guys are there. We know what you were there for. But the Victorias of the world, Gail Kim, even though she kind of quit, on the WWE, but things of that nature. Women like that, I think that there's a criteria for them to be in the Hall of Fame. Beth Phoenix, but Michelle McCool, Layla, and then that's just something that's really gonna bother me. It's really gonna bother the mess out of me. So next we're gonna have Aaliyah in the Hall of Fame. Okay, I'm not done. Now I'm just hating. Now I'm just hating. Just Jordan Devin says, I definitely agree with Jazz and Victoria going in. Exactly, because I feel like they played a role. When you seen Victoria come out during that time, you were like, oh, okay, she's gonna wrestle. You seen Tori Wilson and Stacy Keibler come out in the match. There wasn't no wrestling going on. Like, let's be legit. Like, we go beyond this. Tori Wilson versus Stacy Keibler. Okay, we know what this match gonna be. But you seen Victoria versus Trish Stratus or something. And I'm just throwing out names there. Victoria versus just somebody in that era. I do think that is a really, really great, I feel like Victoria is a great addition, because you knew the impact that she had. There is no impact with Michelle McCool. Triple H deserved. Triple H has done everything under the sun, in the WWE, whether we liked it or not. He was the first Roman Reigns, getting shoved down everybody's throats because, he didn't want to work Tuesdays. So we saw a whole lot of Triple H. Mickey James, there you go. Thank you, Devin. Mickey James, I think is a great one too. So it's people like that I do think play a huge role here. So I do have to get ready for this interview here. So I gotta slide up out of here. I do appreciate you guys for sliding on with me. Like I said, it looks like we got to go live on TikTok. I'm gonna test that theory either tonight or tomorrow. But keep our notifications on TikTok, and I even post the link as well on social media to get that going. Because number one, I'm curious to see how this is gonna work, what to do, how we gonna do it, and I'm interested to see how this is gonna turn out. So, but you will get our predictions from me and Devin. I'm definitely gonna go live tomorrow, and I'm either gonna go live with Devin, or I'm either gonna go live with Devin's predictions, either or we're just gonna do a show on Saturday too. I mean, we throw parties too. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Jordan Kirby, especially for telling us about the economic blackout. And I got to prepare myself for tomorrow. Got to get it going here. So, oh yeah, I gotta crawl to the camera. I gotta crawl to the computer. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys tomorrow or on TikTok. Yeah, my back.